Hello and welcome to today's video on high altitude investing. In today's video we are going to be talking about Litecoin and where I think prices are going from here. Personally, I see this as the beginning of something very big coming in the crypto markets. With Litecoin, with Bitcoin breaking out, with Bitcoin SV going into price discovery mode, we have seen some amazing moves across the board lately. And so with that being said, it's very exciting to be part of this market as it's growing, as the sentiment is changing, as more and more people are realizing that this might turn around for the bulls and less people are shorting. Right now is a great time to be looking at the cryptocurrency markets, to be looking at lots of the different altcoins, Bitcoin, and be buying and investing in these markets. And so I'm very excited to share today with you my update on my Litecoin perspective. We're going to be running over some of the shorter term price action over the next little while. As you guys know, my long-term targets for Litecoin are going to be above the all-time high, but we're going to be going over what's going to happen in the next shorter time frames with Litecoin. So make sure that you hit that like button for me right now and the subscribe button with the notification bell, because I am dedicated to uploading 5 videos a week all through 2020 on the cryptocurrency markets. Also, make sure you comment down below where you're tuning in from in this beautiful world. So without further ado, let's get straight into the analysis. As you guys know, Litecoin is one of my favorite picks, one of my favorite altcoins, because one of the bigger things that I use in my strategies is market cycle analysis. And from a market cycle perspective, this right here, this little move right here in the market, is just such a perfect first sell-off and disbelief phase. This right here is a very typical new paradigm or euphoria phase at the top of the market. And this right here is a very standard depression at the bottom of the market. And this right here is another very nice disbelief phase in the market. So just like how this was disbelief, this section right here, specifically this smaller frame, is actually a very good standard disbelief phase in the market. So with that being said, I personally expect to see a W bottom pattern in Litecoin like this, where we start to get a reversal. Now what is that going to look like? Personally, we've started to already see the bounce off of major support. So I expect us to push a little bit higher here, maybe claim some more support, maybe a little bit of a retracement right here. And we're just going to go ahead and take our polyline tool and map out. After that, I expect us to start forming that W bottom pattern. This bottom pattern is actually confirmed when we break above this resistance level at around 140. And that is a complete confirmation of the bottom pattern. So that gives us a full confirmation that this W bottom pattern is indeed taking place. And that is again when this resistance level is broken above. So this is a very interesting time to be looking at the Litecoin market. This goes along, this W bottom pattern goes along with the Elliott wave count of a 1, 2, 3 wave coming. And so this is very typical of the market structure that you would see after a large ABC correction in the market, like we saw, A, B, C corrective pattern, and then that first wave, and then reaccumulation, getting ready for that very impulsive 3 wave. So what does a 3 wave entail? A 3 wave entails that we are likely to see impulsive movement, very illogical thinking. And that's really good from a perspective of trying to make money, because when you have a whole bunch of people illogically buying after the point had already broke up, most people are going to be FOMOing into the market after it's already past its resistance level, when the real juicy time to get in is during this accumulation phase right here before the actual 3 wave starts. This is where you're going to get the most profit potential with the smallest risk to reward, meaning that you have the lowest amount of risk and you have the highest amount of reward. If you take a long position down here, you could be seeing upwards of 400 or 500% gains in the 3 wave. and you can have a stop loss of 10, 20, 30%. So your risk to reward ratio is like 15 to 1, which is very, very good for the bulls. But most people, you know, they're going to be getting in. A lot of people are breakout traders. So a lot of people are going to be buying after the breakout. They might make some money on the way up. But a lot of times what happens on a breakout is you push up and then you fall back down onto it. And a lot of times people get shaken out right there when it falls back on before it pushes up. So I don't personally do breakout trading. Sometimes I'll use breakouts as confirmation for the trading plan I'm already in, that, oh look, this is going in the direction that I wanted it to. But for the most part, I like patterns, waves, market cycles, and that gives me a lot better risk to reward. I get in a lot earlier than somebody that's going to try and buy on the breakout. With that being said, you don't have to be the first person in the market either. Like how this was going down, 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 down. You didn't have to be like trying to buy every single dip on the way down. You can always wait for the first leg up like we've seen and then buy the first dip back onto support so that you're getting in on a higher low. So you've actually formed your first low and your first higher high, and you're buying that higher low afterwards. So you don't have to be the first person in the market, but you can be very early in comparison to the average investor when you're picking up these coins. So Litecoin, you guys, is in the bigger picture, this is a big 1 wave and this is a big 2 wave. And so we're forming the subwaves that will get us back up and above this 1 wave and form a bigger picture 3 wave. And that 3 wave should, in theory, in Elliott wave theory, take us to new all-time highs. Now, I'm not going to say that that's going to happen this year. That would be crazy. We have to, you know, make our 3rd wave and our 5th wave. We'll probably even retrace a little bit in major resistance, and then we'll start pushing up for those bigger Elliott waves. So that's kind of the macro perspective of Litecoin as a 1 and a 2 wave cycle. And in a 1 and a 2 wave, it's actually very common for us to see a very impulsive move on the upside and then a very hard retracement all the way back down to these major lows, just like we saw in this 1 wave, because this is a 1 and a 2 wave. So this whole right here, this whole move right here, is a reflection, a fractal. We talked about fractals in a couple of videos back with Ethereum fractals. This big move right here is a fractal of this big move right here. So this, of the smaller move right here. So this right here is basically the same thing as this, and it makes sense because they're both 1 and 2 waves. This is a 1-2 wave, and then this is the 1 and 2 wave inside of the 3 wave that's forming. And so it's following that 1 and 2 wave structure where it pumps very hard and retraces all the way back down, scares a lot of people, and makes a lot of people very fearful. Right here, this point right here, and this point right here are going to be your max fear in the market. This right here is mainly fear, just pure fear. This right here is mainly disbelief, where they might not be as scared of the market anymore, but they're in disbelief that it's going to turn around. And so this right here is kind of the structure that I'm watching with Litecoin. We're watching for that 3 wave to start to form in the smaller time frames. And for me, smaller time frames are very big compared to what most people trade, because everything below like the 4-hour, 12-hour, that's just all noise. You can sometimes use the smaller time frames a little bit when you're trying to get in on a position to make sure that you buy in a good place. But when you're looking at macro perspective, these bigger time frames are very useful. But either way, 3 days is pretty small for me. 1 week is a lot more common for me to use. 5-day, some of those bigger time frames. So Litecoin is looking very, very good, you guys. I'm excited to see where this market takes us. I'm expecting some type of rounded structure with that W bottom pattern, maybe even a cup and handle pattern forming right here. And then once we get above this previous resistance, we are likely to retrace back onto it and launch up out of that area right there. And that's going to cause us to have a very impulsive 3 wave. Most people are going to be buying when we start meeting major resistance again, which isn't very smart, but that's just the psychology of the market. We're going to have we're going to have dumb money coming into the market at that point. You're going to start to hear a little bit more people talking about it, but people won't be hype like until it gets above an all-time high. You know, until we break all-time highs, that's when the majority of retail money is going to come in. Anything below that, they're still going to be in a lot of disbelief. A lot of people are just going to be like, oh, it's a sucker's rally. It's only moving up because people are stupid. It's not actually developing a trend, when indeed it is developing a trend completely. So we're going to go over to my Twitter here real quick, and I'm going to share with you guys an altcoin total market cap chart. When I showed this chart, a lot of people were asking me, well, what altcoin should I buy? Check my channel. I've made a lot of videos recently about what altcoins I think are good ones to buy. If we go over to my profile right here, you guys can see that I made a chart about this fractal with the total market cap with the altcoins. And this is kind of what I'm looking at, you guys. This is Bitcoin in 2011, 2012 with this very large pump, and then new paradigm. You go back down to depression and then make a disbelief phase where this purple box is. And you have this volume profile where you have a smaller volume and then a bigger volume in the disbelief. And then this is the total altcoin market cap in 2017 to 2020. Smaller volume, bigger volume, disbelief phase, purple, new paradigm. Exactly the same. And basically what happened with Bitcoin is it reaccumulated, developed its uptrend again, started making higher highs, higher lows, and then went above that major resistance and broke to new all-time highs after that. So that's kind of what I'm watching with the altcoin market from a kind of total perspective of everything that should go on here. Now, with that being said, you guys, Litecoin, I think, will be one of those coins that you can invest in, buy, that will follow that cycle. Although this is not financial advice, this is my perspective, my view, what I'm doing, that you guys can look at and consider. And, you know, this is why I personally have said Litecoin can do very, very well. By the way, again, if you guys are liking this video, hit that like button and the subscribe button. As you can see, I've been consistently uploading on this channel new content regularly. But one of the recent videos that I made was actually about Litecoin. So I'm just going to go ahead and find that one for you guys really quick. Litecoin, my honest view. And this is a video that I ran over Litecoin, and I actually talk about the bigger picture in the form of logarithmic charts and the channels that we're forming, and I talk about how Litecoin could even be worth upwards of $10,000 in its next cycle if it accumulates slower. So if it takes longer, as you can see in this chart, I have it taking a little bit longer. If it takes a little bit longer to do that, that's actually better for the price, because it has a lot longer before there's resistance. So it could be upwards of 10,000. If it moons really quickly, like I think I have it drawn somewhere else. Maybe I don't have a good example. But let's just say Litecoin was to moon very quickly. Its resistance levels are actually lower prices, so that would be like 3,000, 5,000. But if it takes a little longer to accumulate in reverse, then we can expect upwards of 10,000. So that's what I'm watching in the big picture. In the shorter time frames, we're watching for this Elliott three-wave to get us upwards of, you know, that $250 level and above that $140 resistance. Make sure you check out my video on the bigger picture with Litecoin. Make sure you follow me on Twitter so you guys can get charts and analysis. Again, huge shout out to NewsBTC for using my altcoin analysis in their news article. Feels really good to be back in the news. I was in the news a few times in 2017, but that just goes to show that people are getting excited again. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video about Litecoin. I really love and appreciate every single one of you. My channel has been growing so much lately, and I'm very thankful for that. Keeps me uploading 5 days a week, even though my voice is a little cracky and I might just be a tiny bit sick right now. I stay motivated because of you guys. So thank you so much. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video tomorrow. As always, stay profitable out there.